So this classic photo you're seeing here of Tiger Woods and Butch Harmon, they're working on Tiger's left arm, more specifically Tiger's left arm connection, as this is a move that so many amateur golfers do not have in their golf swing. But if you get this into your swing, it's going to make your club path in a downswing ultra consistent. It's going to give you what we call a stretch and release cycle of your back and your lats, and that's going to create a ton of easy, effortless power. And it's also going to help you rotate and stabilize that club face way easier. So longer, straighter shots. This is an absolute must-have in your golf swing. You need to keep that left arm nicely connected to make sure that you are playing to your best potential. So I'm going to show you a great drill to do for this. So without me saying any more, let's get into it. So left arm connection. What is it? How does it help us? And how do we end up getting it into our golf swing? So left arm connection is ultimately when we're swinging that club back, we're having from just above our elbow, 3/4 of the way down our bicep, having that connected and pinned to our side. So if we can do that, we're gonna have all these bunch of things get into our golf swing. So number one, consistent club path, and a more favorable from the inside club path for most golfers. Because when we have that left arm a little bit more pinned, it helps the club move more around us. So it gives us that little bit more backswing depth. So if we've got that little bit more backswing depth to our hands and our arms, so if we say here with the butt end of the club being around kind of our heel region, which will happen when you have that left arm nicely connected, staying to your side, that's going to promote a more inside club path. And also as we start moving down in the downswing, that left arm staying connected will keep that club working on a nice path, neutral or slightly to the inside. And we know having great club path is absolutely paramount for having a good, consistent shot dispersion out in the golf course. We want it to be nice and tight. We don't want that much shot curvature on our shots. So number two, the stretch and release cycle that is created via this through our lats. So when we have that left arm pinned up against our side, that movement in transition of keeping it nicely pinned creates a massive amount of stretch in that lat. And the more we stretch and have that left arm pinned and sink in and transition, which we're going to train this later in the video, that's going to create that huge stretch. And the more we stretch something, the more it's going to release, and that's going to help tremendously for speed. This is where we see someone like Rory McIlroy, for example. One of his big reasons why he can hit the ball so far for his stature, again, he's not the tallest of guys, but creates such distance, is one, he has this in his golf swing also, that stretch and release cycle of that lat, which is then created via keeping that left arm pinned, and again, creating some tension with it. So really beneficial for not only path, but for power also. So number three, it massively helps with the body's rotation going through the downswing. So if we're having that left arm more connected, in general, in the simple terms, that means your body's going to be more in control. So that means you don't have to time up arms and body swing. You just have to get that body turning. And then that club, as we know, is going to stay on path. You're going to have that good power source. But now we're going to get that better rotation from this. And that's going to make that club move really nice and stable with that face. And if we're keeping this left arm connected even through to the follow through, you're going to have this hand path nicely curve out towards the left. So that's going to be really great. And that's one thing that we saw at the Masters of Tiger working on the last day with his son Charlie, working on his hand path curving a little bit more to the left. So this is going to naturally help you out with it. Again, rotation is so important, again, to getting that club face stable. So again, you can have less shot curvature out on the golf course. So before we get straight to how to do it with our drills and our feels here, let's talk about what amateur golfers do wrong in regards to this, as this will be a light bulb moment for so many of you. Because when we see players disconnect the left arm, having that left arm, that big gap between arm and body, that will create pretty much the opposite of everything we've just talked about. Now, when we have that left arm disconnect go away, that's going to make the hand path travel dead straight up into the top of the swing. So that's going to create a lack of depth, so where those hands are more on top of the body. So then as soon as we move down, that club is going to move out in front of us, and we're going to completely swipe across that golf ball. Left arm disconnects, you're going to then have a big out to wind swing. So no good from there. And we know golfers who disconnect that left arm, they're going to really struggle with power. They're not having any of that stretch and release cycle. So that's where, of course, we're going to hit slices and really weak shots. So that's where having that left arm disconnected is terrible for you. And other area, of course, you're going to suck with your rotation. It's not going to be great, because if that left arm moves away, now the body and the arms aren't working together. So you've ultimately just got two swings that are going on. You've got your body swing and now you've got your arm swing. So how hard is that going to be to time up through there? We want to make the arms nice and connected. Players have been working on this throughout professional golf, getting those arms connected to each other, whether it's, you know, people like Nick Faldo back in the day, Jack Nicklaus talked about connection, and even now when we see loads of guys out on tour with, let's say, certain things like gloves underneath their arms, that really helps. So let's get into how to get this into your swing. So let's talk about exactly how to get this into your swing and then some great drills. So the takeaway is so important with this. So if we have the hands go dead straight out or dead straight back, like a lot of people try to do, they try to get their hands going dead straight back, that will completely disconnect your left arm from your body. So that's where we've got to always remember the swing is an arc. We swing on an arc around us. We want these hands to work on a mirrored version of the arc. Swings on an arc, the club is, the hands, a smaller mirrored version. So if we can get those hands going slightly in to start off with, that left arm is nicely pinned already. So this is pretty much 99.9% of people I see disconnect that left arm. They do it in that takeaway. Always the takeaway. Of course, you'll have some outliers, but most of you, it will be the takeaway. So I want those hands going in and that club going out. So, because if we try to drag everything in, that's going to be bad news. Your left arm will be connected, but then you're going to have shaft issues throughout the swing. So hands in, club out, that's really going to create that connection between your left arm and your left pec. But don't try and feel tense doing this. A lot of people will think pinned left arm and they try to really just try to pin it in super tense. You don't really want to be tense with anything in the swing, especially with your arms. So just get those hands in, club out. That's a great way to start. And then you could swing up and swing through as a little drill there. You need to have that takeaway good. So hands in, club out, that's going to make you nice and pinned with that left arm in the takeaway. So let's get to a drill. I alluded to it earlier with saying what the top pros do when they work on this. A glove, that's all you need, a glove. Just put the glove underneath your left arm. Now, this will tell you straight away, are you connected or are you not? If you're disconnected, the glove is immediately going to drop. So we want to keep this underneath our arm the entirety of the swing. So let's keep it underneath, see how we do. Pretty good. You can see, where is it? It's still there. We just want to keep it underneath as well as we can. Now, I hit one more, and we're going to say why this is such a good thing for you to practice as well, because of what you can do on the golf course. So, of course, as we know, on the golf course, we can't do drills, but we can technically do this on the golf course. So we can't use anything, let's say, external as a drill, but we can get a bit of our shirt, tuck it underneath our left arm. Now we've got that same sensation as swinging with that glove underneath the arm. So this is why this is such a good thing to work on your golf swing, because you can work on it on every single shot you hit. Not only just practice, but on the golf course as well. So tuck that underneath the left arm. Now you've got that same sensation and we can feel it being nice and connected. We know, okay, hands in. That's going to really help us. Boom. There we go. So absolutely brilliant. Every single repetition, regardless of what club it is, and you can do this with every single club. You want to be connected with everything. Tuck it in there. So you can get this into your golf swing really fast, because you can do every rep that you hit, really, even in your rounds of golf, even in your practice, everywhere, doing this. So the second drill here, target that stretch and release cycle in the downswing. This is a brilliant one, and you do not need a club at all for this. So just get your left arm, put your left arm across your shoulder plane, turn up to a normal backswing, and then turn that downswing and feel like you're putting pressure into that left arm with your right. So you're really sinking that left arm in. That's going to create a stretch. When you turn also, just doing that alone will create a little stretch, but you need to turn that lower body mid-torso as well. That's going to create quite a noticeable stretch. And of course, that's going to catapult you through. So just get up to the top, pin, and then pull it back, turn. All that stretch is going to happen there. And we know the bigger stretch we get, the more of a release we're going to get off that stretch, which means more power. So if we do a bunch of that, for example, have our glove. Let's get that glove back out the back pocket. Put that underneath our arm. We've just done our feel in between shots. We know, okay, hands in. We're going to have that left arm nice and connected. And there we go. We're going to be in a much better spot. So, absolutely, guys, you need this in your golf swing. I don't want to see anyone, unless they somehow manage to match up with repinning that arm again, but they'll need to do a lot of other things to make sure their right arm doesn't get stuck behind them if they disconnect and then repin, because they have to pull everything back in. I would want to see, just making golf easier for yourself, get that left arm connected as soon as possible, so you don't have to think about anything like that for any other part of the swing. So if you enjoyed the video, click that like button. If you've got more golf instruction, just like this, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell button too to be notified every time I put out a video.